I am here to play an even more important role, and that is to introduce my better half, my extraordinary wife, and America's extraordinary First Lady, Micheel Obama. Bill Clinton understands where I'm coming from here. He knows what it's like to be married to somebody who's smart, somebody who's better looking, somebody who's just all around a little more impressive than you are. This is not news to people. Since Micheel and I first started dating 22 years ago, pretty much everybody I know who's met her at some point comes up to me and says, you know, Barack, you're great. You know, I like you, but your wife, now she's really something. And I, of course, agree. They're right. And I feel grateful that Micheel, so far at least, has not run for any offices I've been running for. She would beat me thoroughly. Fortunately for me, as much as she cares deeply about public service, she hasn't shown much interest in the political chatter. She doesn't think about who's winning or losing, what the polls say, or who gets the best headline in the papers. No matter what the issue, there's only one thing that she wants to know, and that's, who are we helping? That's what she asks. Who's this going to make a difference for? Whose life is this going to improve? And while I get plenty of good advice from a lot of people during the course of the day, at the end of each day, it is Micheel, her moral voice, her moral center that cuts through all the noise in Washington and reminds me of why I'm there in the first place. She reminds me with her work to tackle childhood obesity so our kids can have healthy lives and the futures they deserve. She reminds me by throwing open the doors of our White House to young people from all different backgrounds, letting them know that we believe in their promise, letting them know that the White House is the people's house, and letting young people know that they're not that far away from all the power and prestige and decisions that are made. And in fact, this is something they can aspire to. They can be a part of, because we are a government of and by and for the people. She reminds me with her work to be a voice for America's military families and veterans, using her platform as First Lady to make sure they get support and respect and the appreciation that they deserve. And while I'm tremendously proud of the First Lady that she's been for this country, at the end of the day, I'm most grateful that she's been such a partner to me and the best mother that I know. Every moment that I spend with my daughters, I'm thankful for all that she's done to make them who they are. Every day I see her strength and her kindness and her character reflected in the two of them. And there's no greater gift, and I know Bill feels the same way, about when he looks at Chelsea. He sees this incredible force that a mother can bring. To this day, I still don't know how I talked her into marrying her, but I know that I'm the luckiest guy in the world that she did. So it is with that I would like to introduce you to my First Lady, America's First Lady, Micheel Obama.
But thank you, honey. And with with an introduction like that, you can see why I married the guy, right? Not so bad. But the truth is I feel pretty lucky myself. So I want to thank my husband for being a wonderful father and a partner to me as well. I also want to thank President Clinton for inviting us here today and for the example he's setting, not just as a private citizen, making a difference in the world as only he can, but also, as Barack said, as a father who, along with his brilliant wife, has raised such a wonderful daughter in the White House. And living there, now I know that that's a feat. And it is one my husband and I are doing our best to try to match. We're trying to follow their example every day. And finally, I want to thank all of you for combining your compassion and idealism with a relentless commitment to getting results. In coming together this week, you're forming new partnerships, making new commitments, challenging each other to do even more. And at this year's meeting, President Clinton has asked you to address a challenge that I'd like to talk a little bit about today, and it's one of your key action areas for this week, and that is harnessing human potential. In other words, as you endeavor to do more, to serve more communities, lift up more families, save more lives, how can you find new ways to tap the skills and talents of more people? How can you create and train new leaders, not just here in America, but around the world? How can you, as President Clinton put it earlier this week, get people involved in our common endeavors?